Welcome to the Real Mama Pod.
I'm your host, Devin.
And I'm your host, Kendra.
We are real moms.
Sharing real experiences. The things people don't tell you.
Hey, Mama, hey.
Hey, Mama.
Hey, friend.
What's going on, friend?
How you doing, friend?
I'm doing well. We are at our very first live show.
Live show, y'all. Like, people are here.
Watching us.
Y'all hear that? People are here, y'all.
Shout out to the people who are here. Thank y'all for being here.
Yes. And we have a guest.
We do.
We have a fabulous guest.
We do.
Who do we have?
Who are you?
Oh, if this is your first time listening, I'm your host, Devin.
And I'm your host, Kendra. Welcome to the Real Mama
Welcome
Pod.
to the Real Mama Pod.
So, as Devin shared, we do have a guest. Her name is Nikkita. Welcome, Nikkita.
Thank you for having me. Hello.
We're so happy to have you here. And this is the perfect time for you to be here.
Yes.
So let me say this. We are here because, again, this is a live show, but we are celebrating mamas today. This is our Mama Valentine's Day event.
Yes.
And we're here loving on ourselves. Like, this day is all about us. It's all about our self-care and what we need to do to take better care of ourselves more intimately and physically. So shout out to Nikkita for being an expert in the room when it comes to that.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you.
Of course. Do you want to tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do?
Absolutely. As stated, my name is Nikkita Grady. I am a postpartum pleasure and intimacy coach. So I work with moms. I work with all moms, not just postpartum women, but I do focus more on postpartum because the intro to motherhood is rough, right? So I just help women reconnect with their bodies because a lot of you can relate that after having a baby, you feel disconnected from your body. If you breastfeed, you feel like your body is not your own. It belongs to your child. You probably go through phases of being touched out, so much so that you don't want to be touched by your partner. You don't want to be intimate with your partner.
Even now, after 4 years.
Right.
Yes.
And I hate that doctors typically say, you know, if you lose your desire for sex or if you are feeling this way, that it'll eventually go away as time goes on, because that's not always the case. Sometimes it doesn't go away without work. So I'm just here to help moms reconnect with themselves, to learn how to deepen the intimacy with their partner as well as themselves, and to learn how to still be a sexy mama. Because who said mamas can't be sexy?
Hello.
There we go.
Look at
there
us.
we go. Right.
Sexy
we
today,
real
y'all.
sexy up here. Got my cashmere silk on, and
I'm showing
you got a little thigh meat.
meat.
Devin got a little cleavage.
I know
Real
these things never
sexy.
out. So. Woo, child. Well, that was a great intro. And so, as you guys know, we are powered by SC Media Group. Whoop, whoop.
Shout out to SC
and
Media.
we switched some things around. So we are opening up with a review. Okay.
What we
So this review is funny and it's sweet because we know who it's from. Okay. It says, "Bi, y'all doing a good job. You doing a good job."
Bih is spelled B-I-H, just
Bih.
for people listening. And
Bih.
they're like, what did she just
That's
say?
like a Florida thing, right?
It is
Bi.
definitely a Florida thing.
Okay. Y'all know I'm from Florida,
I
kind
didn't know
of.
it was a Florida thing.
Yeah, honey, it's Bih. South Florida to be exact, yes.
Okay, it says, "You know the gift of service isn't always easy, but you all have been committed to helping other mothers for over 6 years." She's talking about the baby group. Shout out to the people from the baby group. From the mama group chat to the Real Mama Pod, we are so honored to be here with you guys, as well as continue to grow in your gifts. Sorry, I'm trying to get emotional. We see you, we appreciate you, and on the behalf of your SE family, congratulations on being signed, taken care of, and on to a relaunch of your podcast. Now have an amazing first of many live shows, that's right, and we love you so very much. XOXO, sign SE Media Group.
We love y'all too.
So sweet.
We know exactly who wrote that review. Thank you, family. Where would we be without our SC Media Group?
Yes, because the upgrade is real.
In case you're wondering, like, we literally used to set up cameras. Like, when I say camera, I mean a laptop camera, and like record, because we were just
No, it started with our phone.
Oh,
But then the phone started cutting off because we didn't have no storage.
There we go.
And then we was like, okay, let's go ahead and get a webcam.
We had our camera.
Oh, we had our camera too, but that died because we
died.
forgot the
Well, the
external
SIM card.
battery.
It was a SIM card
the battery and the
situation.
SIM card.
We were just ran. It was just a mess.
And then we got a webcam, and now we're here. So this is a huge upgrade.
Shout
Huge.
out to God.
Yes. Thank you, Jesus. We
Shout
love
out to
you.
God.
All right. So, Nikkita, briefly tell us about your journey to mamahood.
Okay. Well, I have been pregnant 4 times. So each time that I've been pregnant has been a different experience. So I want to start with saying that because I just feel like every pregnancy, every woman is different. And I don't want anybody who's not a mom or who only has one child to think that it's the same every single time. I got pregnant for the first time in high school. So I was really young. After that, I didn't have a desire to be sexual, but it wasn't because my desire was gone or diminished or anything like that. It was more so because I was scared of getting pregnant again. I mean, I was only 17, right? My second pregnancy happened a little later. I think I was 23 when I had my son. And my sex drive actually shot through the roof. I wanted it all the time, and we didn't even wait for my 6-week checkup to be cleared to have sex. And then there's my daughter, which was my third pregnancy. After my daughter, and it could be that I had a really rough pregnancy as far as personal things go. So after my daughter, it seems like throughout my second and third trimester, I was like always horny, right? I was constantly wanting it. I was always in the mood. It's like the moment that she came out, it went out the window. Like immediately, it was like, don't touch me, don't look at me. I don't want to touch myself. I don't want to think about sex. I don't want to talk about sex. And then I had a miscarriage in 2021. That miscarriage is actually what led me to focusing on postpartum in terms of sex and intimacy coaching. And it's because after the miscarriage, I had never had one before, never had an abortion. But after the miscarriage, we tried to conceive for several months and was unsuccessful. And it began to weigh on my relationship. And I did a lot of research trying to figure out like what it was that I was feeling, how to overcome that, what to do. And I couldn't find anything. And I'm like, I cannot be the only person in the world that is going through this. Like, why is nobody talking about this? So I decided to focus on this because I want to help women through this. Like, I feel like the conversation has to be had. But that is my journey into motherhood from each pregnancy overall.
Thank you for that.
Thank you for sharing all of your stories of pregnancy, because you're right. Each pregnancy is different. And as it relates to I had a miscarriage. And I did not want to have sex after that miscarriage. And I'm like, well, I got to because I want a kid, so I got to do something. But I can relate to you when it comes to that, because it's like my body is already going through so many things. I don't know what's going on. I don't want to mess anything up. And my husband's like, it's okay, let's try it. I mean, he was more empathetic than that. But
some men aren't. Like, if we're being real, you do have some men that are like, oh, you went to your 6th week, let's do it. And most women aren't even ready when they get to that.
Even after 6 weeks, it takes time for you to get used to your body again, especially after you've birthed a whole kid. You don't want nobody touching you, right? So thank you for sharing.
You're welcome.
So you identify or you label yourself as a postpartum intimacy coach. Can you share a little bit more? I know you shared some before we started, but can you share a little bit more about what that means? Even to our listeners.
Yeah, absolutely. So what a postpartum intimacy coach is just a professional who helps postpartum women and mothers in general reconnect with themselves sensually and sexually. Because there's this narrative that society has placed on us that says that moms can't be sexy. And the example that I like to give now that's more recent is the whole Keke Palmer situation. Her boyfriend at the time, when she went to go see Usher, was like, I think he said, cover yourself up, you're a mother. But we're still people. A mother is a woman that wears many hats. So I'm just here to help moms reconnect with themselves sexually and sensually and become more intimate. And I also push the narrative that you can still be a mom and be sexy too.
Because we sexy.
Because we are. I mean, how do your kid get here in the first place, right? It blows my mind how taboo the topic is. It's like, oh my gosh, you're a mom. You shouldn't be talking about sex. You shouldn't be promoting sex. I actually had someone early in my career tell me, how can you teach mothers about sex? Like, no one's thinking about sex after pregnancy. And I don't think that's true at all. How many times have y'all heard of people that go to their 6-week appointment pregnant again? If nobody's thinking about sex, like, how is this possible, right?
Right. Right.
And then the bulk of my clients, what I've learned too, is a lot of women, it's not that they're not thinking about sex. They legitimately don't feel the desire for it and they want to. And again, that's where I come in. I help you overcome those obstacles that are holding you back from being that sexual and sensual person.
Oh, I'm excited to learn some more about
yes,
that.
absolutely. So you kind of talk about self-care a lot too.
Yes.
And I know for me, that 6-week thing, like you hit that on the head because it was beyond 6 weeks. It was more like 14, 15 weeks. And I think we need to start having those conversations too, because you have to be ready when you're ready.
Right.
Not when a doctor says you're ready.
Right.
They don't know your vagina. They don't know your mindset. They don't know anything. Thank God my husband was very patient with me.
Pent up and
Shout out to you,
patient.
Pent Up and Patient. If you haven't listened to our episode with Samaya on our podcast, we'll check that out. Not just another sex podcast. Pent Up and Patient. He was very pent up. But you talk about self-care, and I just want to know, how are you teaching moms how to be comfortable in their skin? Because I struggled with that for a very long time. And I think this is the first year I became like actually comfortable on how I look and how I feel, and just accepting my body for where it's at right now.
Right.
So how are you teaching moms that?
First, let me say you look good.
Oh, thank you.
And I know that it doesn't really matter what I say or what anyone else says. It boils down to what you feel inside. I encourage affirmations. I encourage mirror work. And sometimes people are like, oh, that doesn't work. And I was that person. I felt like affirmations were stupid. I was like, I don't want to stand in the mirror and talk to myself. But I started to do affirmations and take myself seriously. Like I became like Mary Jane with all the little post-its on the mirror. And after a while, I started to believe the things that I was telling myself, the things that I wrote to go on my mirror. And I realized like affirmations do work. And it's all about your mindset. So you have to take what you feel like is a problem and address it head on. You also have to work on developing that confidence with yourself. So the best time that I feel like you should do that is getting in or out of the shower. Everyone has a mirror in their bathroom, I would hope. So on your way to the shower, like stop in the mirror and just admire your body. Even if you just had a baby last week, like admire your body. If you find that you're disgusted by your body or you're not confident, like start to affirm your body. For me, and I talk about this a lot, I felt like my breasts were like ill especially after breastfeeding for 2 years. And so I got to a point to where I would look in the mirror and I would say, you know what, my breasts are not perky like they were at 21. But they're not supposed to be perky forever. I have breastfed a human being for 2 years and 4 months. I did what I was supposed to do with them. I nourished a whole body. And because of that, my breasts are beautiful. And now I look in the mirror and I'm like, my breasts are beautiful. Don't get me wrong. I do have moments where I'm like, I think I want a boob job. It comes, it goes. So I want y'all to know, like, it does happen. Like, sometimes I'm like, I do want a boob job. But for the most part, I do appreciate my breasts for what they've done. And because of that, I have grown to, like, really embrace that. Mm-hmm. So my advice to you is just start with affirmations, start with mirror work, and then embrace your journey. Give yourself permission to feel what you feel also. That is very important. I think as moms, especially new moms, we don't give ourselves permission to feel the things that we feel. And so we bottle it up. And it makes it worse. It's like you're waiting to explode later down the line, and it makes it worse.
We don't want any explosions.
We don't want not that kind of explosion anyway.
I'm getting a breast reduction because mine were huge before I had my son, and they got huge after I had him. Like I've grown through the alphabet. Like I'm up there. So in my back, like they gotta go.
So can we talk about cosmetic surgery for a minute?
Sure.
I know there's a taboo on that as well. I like to tell moms, do whatever makes you feel good. Before I had my daughter, I actually had a tummy tuck. And people were like, why are you getting a tummy tuck? And I was like, because I have all this loose skin and there's no amount of working out that can fix that. And everybody was like, oh, I think you're crazy. You look good. But it wasn't about what other people thought. It was about what I thought. I think my last straw was my 24th birthday. I was getting ready to go out, and I must have tried on every single outfit that I owned, and I didn't like the way I looked in anything. And I was like, that's it, I'm calling the surgeon. And I did. I called the surgeon the next week, and I scheduled my appointment, and I got a tummy tuck, and I thought that the tummy tuck would actually fix my issues. And this is not everybody's story, so I don't want you to be like, oh, I was thinking about cosmetic surgery, and I don't want to do it. But for me, I thought, if I get a tummy tuck, it's going to fix all my problems. My stomach is going to be cool, but that wasn't the case. So I still had to learn to embrace my body for what it was and what it looked like and what it has been through.
That's good. That's real.
But do what makes you feel good, whether that's working out, changing your diet, doing self-care, or getting cosmetic surgery.
Yeah. I talked, this was before I said they're getting reduced, kid or not. So, yes. So there are mamas who have gone through many phases of life, mamas who've been married, mamas who've been in long-term relationships with their partners, and things happen. Like they break up for whatever reason, and they don't feel desired anymore. So like if there's a mom out there who has gone through these phases of either a divorce or a long-term partner that they've broken up or whatever, and they're like, I just don't know if anyone wants me anymore. Like, what advice would you give to that mama?
First of all, moms are a hot commodity, okay? Give yourself grace, be patient, be understanding, take your time. Make sure that you are moving for yourself in this journey and not for someone else. Like, don't feel like you have to be pressured into jumping back into a relationship because your mom wants another grandbaby, or because all of your friends are all of a sudden getting married and you want that again. Take your time, embrace your journey. It's your journey. Make sure that you self-reflect often, and make sure you love on yourself. Self-care is huge. I have learned that self-care is like the answer to a lot of things. It's the answer to confidence. Like, it helps you. And that goes back to the whole about your body. If you start doing self-care, you eventually start to just fall in love with yourself and your body all over again. I revamped my self-care regimen back in November, I think it was. And I started, because now I moved up a little bit. Like, I can start getting routine massages now. So I've added a monthly massage into my self-care routine. And I've started making sure that I pay attention to the type of products that I use on my skin. And somebody was like, you're glowing. Who is he? And I'm like, girl, it's me. It is me. And I am glowing. You are absolutely right. So self-care is a big component to all of that.
Shout out to self-care.
Yay.
We did an episode with one of our favorite guests. She's actually in the audience. Hello, Applemania. And she really drilled us on like self-care.
Yes.
Like, you have to take care of yourself.
You have to.
And after that conversation with her, like I know me and Devin both have been intentional about self-care. Like, I got to take better care of myself.
I feel like as moms, when we go through pregnancy and then we have these little tiny humans, we automatically relinquish the love for ourselves to focus on our children, our spouses, our partners, everybody around us. But if you're not your best, how can you be the best for that person? And I had to learn that. I had to learn it the hard way. My mom actually passed away when my daughter was about 4.5 months old. And I went into a really deep depression. And I realized, like, I'm not my best self right now. I didn't feel good. I didn't look good. And I had to actually force myself to start doing self-care. And I noticed that the more that I did the self-care routine, the better I started to feel and the more confident I started to feel until I started to feel somewhat like myself again. So it really does make a difference.
It really does. I can speak to that as well. I feel like a new person. And then my family appreciate me more. Like, even my boys, like, they're like, oh, Ma, what color nails you got on today? You didn't tell me you had an appointment. Like, they look forward to that. And I try to really be that example for them as well, because I don't want them to remember me as being the broke down mom. Like, my mom did it, so you can do it. No, I want them to have a budget together for their significant other, and baby, this for you. Go take care of you. And so them seeing that is sending them messages as well. And so that makes me feel better. I'm like, I got to keep this up. Even if it's not for me, it's for them, because they need to see this example.
I love that you do that. I incorporate that with my daughter as well. Like, She had her first hair salon appointment recently, but I take her to get manis and pedis, like all the things. Like, love on yourself, baby girl.
And teaching our boys too. Like, Hammer and Nails is our sponsor for this episode as well. And so my husband actually has a membership down in Florida, their franchise, and he's starting to take my boys to go with him because they need to love on themselves too, just as much as we love on ourselves.
Can I say something to that point? You mentioned about your husband and your sons. A lot of people don't realize that men experience postpartum as well. So a lot of times women are like, I don't know if you guys have ever heard someone say, even though I'm married, I feel like a single mom.
Oh, yeah.
I did not understand that, and that used to piss me off. I used to, don't talk to me about, I'm a single mom. Don't talk to me about feeling like a single mom. You got a whole person sitting in the house with you. Like, absolutely not. But it took one of my friends to actually break down what that meant, what that was. And so she carried this mom guilt. So I know a lot of you are probably familiar with mom guilt as well. And she's like, I just feel like he doesn't get it. And it was after my miscarriage that I had to realize that men experience postpartum. So my miscarriage led to the demise of my relationship, but we rekindled after a few months. And I sat down and I talked to him because I've known him since I was 17. And I said, what happened? We've been so close. We've always been able to talk to each other about anything. And you just shut down on me. What happened? And as he started to talk about the things that he felt and what he was experiencing and what his thought process was, I was like, this man was going through postpartum depression, to be exact. And so I started to do research. And once again, there's not a lot on that. But I was like, men can absolutely experience postpartum depression or baby blues or anxiety. So they do need love as well.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, thank you for breaking that down.
Yes.
Because I didn't know that men went through postpartum. And I do want to shout our husbands out for several things. One, for letting us be here while they're at home with the kids, because they are definitely at home with the kids.
Multiple kids.
We talked to them before we started, and they are at home with the kids. So shout out to our husbands. But I think I'm glad that you touched on the boys seeing us take care of ourselves and also seeing us do what we love. But I think that's a part of self-care as well. Like really pouring into your passions and what you're interested in and what makes you happy. And this is definitely something that makes me and Devin happy, right?
Yeah.
So I do want to be intentional about shouting them out and taking care of the kids because they need a parent at home, right?
Right.
And one point I wanted to make about the postpartum depression, I'm not sure if my husband had it or not, but when he went through his depression season, it was right after we had our son. And in a moment, you know, you're sleep deprived, you're all these things, so you're blaming it on that. When we actually sat down and talked about it, and now that you're saying that, maybe he did experience postpartum depression because it was right after we had my oldest son. So thank you for saying that and
even
bringing
though
light to
they're
that.
not physically carrying the baby, they still experience, like, their life is changing. Right. This is new to them. Emotions are going to be all over the place. So it's very easy to slip in that. And I do want to take a moment to say that it's not just men. So anyone who is a new parent at any point in time, whether it's adoptive or because you're a godparent that had to take over those responsibilities, anybody that's in a new parental role can experience postpartum symptoms.
Because these kids change your life.
Rock
You
the
know,
world.
it's like you love them. They're your pride and joy, right? But they
also-
kick your ass. My ass has been kicked.
Listen.
Still kicked.
Listen.
Still kicked. So yes. So let's be real. This is the real mama pop. So while we're talking about our partners, right? Let's talk about like sex and intimacy, right? You know, just a little something.
That's what I'm here for.
So Devin and her husband have been together since y'all were what, 20?
19
Well, I
years
thought
old.
you was about to say since the beginning of time.
Might as well. They've been together how many years?
16, going on 17
Oh,
years.
congratulations. That's
17
beautiful.
years.
Yeah.
Me and my husband have been together for 11 years. Married for almost 6, 7. We've been married, right?
Almost 7. Almost
It's
7.
been a while. Yeah, just my math ain't mathing right. We've been together for a while, long enough. And I know sometimes we're like, not saying we're not bored in the bedroom. Let's just be clear. But there are some people out there who are mamas, daddies, and they're just like, we're just doing the do because we want to, and we need to, but we want to spice it up a little bit.
Absolutely.
Like, how does that work?
So you can try new things. What you
I
said?
said, how does one do that?
Trying new things is a great way to spice things up. Be open-minded. I know a lot of people automatically hear certain things and they're just automatically closed off. I think you have to have an open mind. Make sure you have those conversations and get consent. Even though you're married, consent is still very important. Make sure you're having conversations to explore fantasies. That's another big thing because, you might have a fantasy of, doing it in the rain on the car. And if your husband doesn't know that, then how can he make that come to fruition for you?
If
right?
I tell him that, he'll be like, let's go.
It's raining outside.
It's raining. Ain't nobody outside.
It's a little sprinkle.
And I'm like, hell no,
What's wrong with the rain?
In the house, that would not be a beautiful
Open your
scene.
mind.
Right. See, this is why you're here. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Changing the scenery is, so I'm going to tell you guys a story. Recently, before me and my boyfriend broke up for good this last time, we were at my house where we are a lot of times. So I was in a long distance relationship for people who don't know me or follow me. So we had one time a month. And best, you better believe I was going to make it count. But he came to see me and my daughter was in the living room playing on the iPad.
Oh, God, please.
No.
Okay.
Let her finish her story.
My daughter was in the living room playing on an iPad, and I was like walking up the hallway, and my boyfriend was standing in the laundry room. So the way that my house is set up is like the living room here, there's a hallway, and then the laundry room is to the left. And he snatched me up into the laundry room and picked me up on top of the washing machine. It was not on because a lot of people, when I told the story, everybody was like, was it on? Like it wasn't even on, but he put me on top of the washing machine and then he went down on me. And that's the best head I've ever had in my entire life.
On the
washing machine in the laundry room. But we changed the scenery. We weren't in the bedroom. And so I think it was that mixed with the adrenaline of the fact that my daughter technically could have walked down the hall at any moment and caught us. But that's also a way to spice it up, guys. Be sneaky. Yeah.
See, it's hard. My husband, we're big people, so we can't be changing that.
What?
Like, we're just too big for something. I
So you have to
cannot
find
be
what-
on somebody's washing machine.
You have to find what.
We won't get caught.
Do the kitchen table.
Yeah, okay. I'm just saying.
Do the shower.
Y'all are tall.
Go in
We
the
finally
closet.
got a house with a shower that's big enough for
See?
both of us.
Yeah,
Finally.
Seriously.
I'm just saying. It's look, little people, that works for y'all.
Go outside.
Just saying.
Look, sneak
People.
outside and get on the trampoline or something. I don't know.
Okay.
Just change your scenery, though, for real. Change
Oh,
your
gosh.
scenery. Try something new.
Okay.
Well, we gonna take it to the laundry room.
Y'all can fit in y'all laundry room. I don't know about us. We're too big for that.
I don't think you're too big for it,
Okay.
but what kind of washing machine you got?
It's like a Samsung.
No, like, is it like a top load, front load?
Oh,
Is it
no,
tall?
it's just
Is
a
it
regular
short?
little side
Girl,
to
tell
side
that
action.
man to pick you up on top of that washing machine.
Now, Jared, if you're
Jared would
listening,
do it.
right? He's like,
me,
girl,
I'm
what
the
you
problem.
talking about, girl? You know.
Have you ever been picked up and put against the wall?
Yeah,
Like,
but that's a wall.
but it's so.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna try it.
Okay.
Maybe.
I'm gonna check back in. I'm like, hey.
Just
hey,
let us know if it worked out. We don't need the details. Just let
right.
us know. Or I don't need the details. I mean,
if you want to
let me know
share
if
the
it worked out.
details, I'm
If I
not
touch your
opposed
washing
to
machine,
it.
you know.
Right,
Okay.
if you send me an
Okay,
image or
emoji.
us, an
All right.
image of a washing
Got it.
machine.
And if you're
Group chat.
feeling fancy, turn it on. Put it on spin cycle.
Girl,
I hear some okays in the audience, so I think a
Maybe
few
they
people
did the
have
washing
dabbled
machine
in
thing
the
already.
washing machine.
Maybe I'm asleep.
Right.
But again, we need to see the height of these people. If they're 5'5", 5'7", and shorter, it probably work for them. You're 5'9".
We're gonna have a conversation because I really feel like you can make it work.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fred, you're not. You're just tall. You're just tall.
Okay.
Okay. All right. We're going to
Sorry,
move
y'all.
on in the
Move on.
conversation. We're going to hold you to that washing machine picture, though.
Okay. So washing machine.
Everybody's
keeping it
talking.
spicy.
Everybody's
All
talking on the
right.
washing machine.
Add that to
Y'all,
your list.
Listen,
keeping it.
remember, it was the best head I have ever gotten.
Okay.
in
Yeah,
life.
I hear some feedback in the
I see
audience.
some head
You
nods.
ain't the only one that ain't got head on a washing machine.
Okay, maybe I'm asleep. Okay, so okay, you talked about your sex drive being crazy while you were pregnant, and
Yes.
that was the thing for me too.
Uh-huh.
Like, my husband didn't know who I was, but so for moms who may be a little apprehensive about having sex while pregnant or scared, or their spouse, because I know some dads were, I don't know what's going to happen. Can we talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely.
And how can it become comfortable?
Yeah.
I know towards the end it's a little bit uncomfortable.
Yeah.
For me anyways. I can't speak for everyone, but let's tap into that.
Okay, first of all, I think a lot of people are concerned about hurting the baby.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you are real dealing with, I don't know, something completely abnormal and like monstrous, you're not going to hurt the baby. Mm-hmm. I think for a lot of pregnant women, they're in their head about that. They feel like, if I do this, it'll hurt the baby. If you are afraid of hurting the baby in that sense, there are positions you could do. A lot of people would think that being on top is actually a bad position for a pregnant woman or even a woman in her postpartum era to be in. But being on top gives you full control of how deep and how fast to go. So try on top positions. Spooning positions are always great as well. Turn over to the side, lift that leg up a little bit. Okay. You can also try positioning aids as well. I want to make sure I throw that in there. So you can get like a wedge pillow. You don't even have to buy specialty pillows. You can just use pillows on your bed and just prop your body up.
Okay. All right. Well, pregnant mamas,
Get it?
Listen.
don't be scared.
We got one in the crowd. She shaking her head too.
Okay. Yeah. Right. Okay.
Now, if you are in your third trimester, disclaimer, because I remember with my second pregnancy, we were actually getting it in my third trimester. It was close. It was about a month out from my due date, and he sent me into premature labor.
Oh, wow.
But we were able to stop the labor, so my son wasn't premature. But yeah, and it's because the orgasms can cause contractions. Mm-hmm. So semen also helps thin out your cervix if you're ready.
Okay. Don't y'all hate. Y'all consult your doctors, please. Just,
Yes, I am by no means a doctor. I'm just a sexpert.
We like them too. Okay, so we have a couple more questions for you.
All right.
So if there is a mama who is in a new relationship, right? The mama who may have gone through a breakup and now she is ready to get out there and she is having all the fun.
When you say she's ready to get out there.
Yeah, like she's out, she got a little boo, she got a little situation, right?
Okay. So she's ready to give it up.
She's ready. Well, she's already giving it up a little bit. But she got some tricks, right? They're tucked away under that pillow that you just talked about. How quickly should she just let it all out there? Like the washing machine head and all that. How soon should she allow all that to happen?
I don't think that there is a right or wrong answer to that. I think you have to go at your own pace. Do what feels right. If you're not ready, don't do it. Do not let that man pressure you into hanging from the shower rod if you're not ready to hang from the shower rod.
I hear some chuckles. I think it's some shower rod hanging. Wasn't there a...
Yes, that was Mimi from Love and Hip Hop.
Love and Hip Hop, yeah.
No, Mimi. Well, never mind. Go ahead.
But that's the only advice I have for that. Just make sure you're going at your own pace. Don't feel pressure. Communicate as well. Having those conversations can also help you get ready. And I love having conversations about sex because I feel like it helps me also understand my partner even before we have sex for the first time. Like now I know that he doesn't like his back scratched up, or that he's never had a woman play with his nipples during sex, or whatever the case may be. So it's like, okay, let's do this.
So how do you ask these questions? You just give me a scenario. I'm just curious for those moms who are dating, like, because I struggle with talking about sex sometimes, even with my own husband. So
he might want his nipples played with. So let's just see.
I found out that my ex told me that before me, he had never had a woman play with his nipples before, and he loved the way that it felt. Yeah, and I was like, never. What are y'all, 12? Like,
so how do we have that conversation?
If you're not comfortable
dating?
with if you're not comfortable having those conversations, you can kind of joke your way into it. That's what I used to do. You can also look for what I call windows of opportunity. So if you guys are watching a movie together and you see a sex scene, you can be like, what would you do if I did that to you? Or how would you feel? Or you can say, I was listening to the Real Mama Pod and they were talking about sex on the washing machine, like,
and nipple
what do you think about that? Like, use those as windows of opportunity to just ease into those conversations.
Okay.
I'm gonna ask Jonathan. Like, how would you feel if I rubbed on your nipples? Like, and he would probably like, "Girl, what are you talking about?" But let's see, baby. I don't know.
Right? No, but again, you have to have an open mind. Does that answer your question though about how to? Okay,
helpful.
yeah. I want to make sure I'm answering all the questions.
No, that's good. That's good. All right, so you're an expert.
Yes.
Okay, what is your top 3 things when we're talking about the boom boom?
Can you be a little bit more? More specific?
Time. So, okay, what are your top 3 tips for mamas? Okay, for sex.
Like, are we talking about sex in general?
Yes.
Sex with a partner?
Yes,
Solo play?
Okay.
Any of the
you know what? Solo and partner.
Okay. We'll start with solo. So obviously, if you're solo, you're going to be doing a lot of self-exploration, masturbating. If not, you should be. You should definitely do that.
Why do you say that?
Because it gives you, especially as a mom, it gives you a chance to reconnect with your body. Okay. A lot of times people don't realize that after a pregnancy, you go through these changes. And by changes, I mean everything, not just your hormones, not just your body, but your sex drive, what you like. For instance, I used to be hot and ready like Little Caesar's Pizza when you touched my nipples. Mm-hmm. After breastfeeding for 2 years, it was like, it's not really doing it for me.
Yeah.
Mm. Like, I've cussed a man out before during sex because he bit my nipples. Mm-hmm. Like, don't bite my nipples. But now I'm like, please bite my nipples. But I learned that through sex exploration. Like, I was playing with my nipples and it wasn't doing it for me. And then I just happened to pinch my nipples and I was like, ooh, okay, all right. Mm-hmm. So that, like, self-exploration after a pregnancy allows you to see things that you once liked that you may not like now, and vice versa, things that you didn't like before that you might like. It also helps you to learn your body enough to communicate that to your partner. Okay. Mm-hmm. If you don't know what you like, how can you expect your partner to know, right? And if you have a new partner, you have to be able to let them know. You have to guide them. You have to coach them. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to hear anyone saying, I'm not teaching a grown man how to have sex. I hate that, because you have to teach people how to love you and how to love on you. Take your time. Give yourself permission. Again, I say that a lot. Be sensual with yourself. Sex exploration doesn't necessarily have to be masturbation either. So one of my favorite things to do, I actually did it before the show today. When I get out of the shower, or when I'm in the shower, I like to take like a body scrub and just kind of scrub my body real good, because it makes my skin super soft. And then I'll get out and I'll take like shea butter and I'll just slowly do this. And I'm like, my skin feels so good. Like, so that's just being sensual without being sexual. And it makes me feel sex. Sometimes when I do that at nighttime, I'm like, let me go put on some lingerie now, because I feel good and I just want to prance around. And there's not a man in sight. I just want to be in some lingerie. So, yeah, self-exploration is probably my top tip. Being patient. Let me think. One more top tip for solo play. Try different positions. Don't always masturbate just laying on your back. Roll over. Get on all fours. Take a suction dildo. Put it to the wall. Bend it like Beckham. Do it in the shower. Do it in the tub. How many of y'all have used a shower head to reach an orgasm? There. Okay. Yeah. Or the water from the water faucet. Like, just try different things. Like, just like you can switch it up and be creative and explorative with a partner, you can also be that by yourself.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Top 3 tips for partner play. Communication, for sure. Talk about the things that you like and dislike. Sometimes people struggle with having those conversations, and I know it's difficult. I actually had an encounter once where I felt like the sex wasn't the greatest, but the guy was really sweet, and I was afraid to communicate that because I didn't want to hurt his feelings. And I kind of had to coach myself through that. It was like, what would you tell your client if your client came to you with this? And I'm like, you have to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. You have to have these conversations. So I did. I told him, I was like, so what do you think about the night that we had together? And he was like, oh, it was great. What about you? What do you think? And I was like, well, I loved when you did XYZ. However, I don't like that you skipped this, or that you did that, or that you did this. And he actually was like, well, why you didn't tell me that? So don't be afraid to communicate those things, because your partner most of the time will actually be susceptible. And if they really care about you and love you, then they'll change. They'll make those changes as necessary. Be explorative. Be willing to, again, change your scenery, explore new things. Use sex toys, for sure. A lot of people are intimidated by sex toys with a partner. I always tell men, sex toys are your teammate, not your opponent. So they work with you and not against you, and they just enhance the sexual experience overall. How many is that? Is that 3?
That was good.
Okay.
It's like I gave y'all.
Look, I can go all day with this one. Yeah.
Right. That was awesome. That was really good.
Okay. Well, thank you, Nikkita.
Yes, you're welcome.
You have been a gem because I've learned sitting on your couch. This is your couch today.
Your couch.
Sitting on your couch. You're coaching us. I'm just laying back here. Like,
Taking notes.
well,
It's time for what? Mama-tine.
Something to drink.
Yes. Mama juice.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Y'all know I keep listen.
what we drinking,
One thing
friend?
about me, I'm gonna keep me a drink. It may just be one.
So what is Mama juice, friend?
It is so. The drink is called "Do It for the Live."
I ain't gonna do it. I want to do that so bad.
That, as y'all can see, this
hold that
Dem
in
is
for a
lovely
minute.
idea. Do it for the live, and it's really a simple mimosa, and it's topped with whatever juice you want. I like more tart, sour, citrusy drinks, so I chose cranberry juice. What did you?
I chose pineapple.
That's sweet. That's sweet. What did
And
you
I have
choose?
pineapple orange.
Oh,
Give me the best
okay.
of both worlds.
See, explorative, right?
Explorative, right?
Yeah, so this is our mama juice for today. It is just a mimosa, and it's topped with whatever juice you want. So I chose cranberry, and it's do it for the live. You ain't gonna
do it?
I ain't gonna do it. Okay, there you go. My bad. I missed it. Sorry. Okay, so Mama's Corner. If this is your first time listening, Mama's Corner is our opportunity to connect with our guests further and our listeners. So typically someone will write in and ask a question, and we give them advice based on our personal experience. You can't say, like, we're no experts. Well, Nikkita is, but we're not. So if something works out, give us our credit. If it doesn't, we ain't say nothing. Like, you didn't hear that from me. So
you technically didn't.
I didn't. So Mama's Corner, we had a mama who wrote in, so I'm going to read it, and then we can answer the question. Okay. So it says, let's see. Hey, mamas. Hey, I love when y'all greet us. Can y'all hurry up and come back? We coming. I'm missing y'all on my Thursdays. I'm a mama with 2 small children. Let's just say the intimacy is lacking between my husband and I. Sex is non-existent. In my mind, I want to initiate more, but my actions say otherwise. Listen to y'all on Not Just Another Podcast. It sounds like y'all experienced something similar. How did you bounce back? Will we ever get back on track? So for Mama's Corner, we typically, when we get a question, we kind of table it and we kind of pair it with our guest, but this was just right on time. So I'm guessing she listened to Samaya's podcast and wrote in. So
okay,
it's perfect.
Do you have anything that you want to say first before I go in?
No, you can go.
Okay.
You can answer.
No, you got this.
Okay. Read the last part again. She asked if they would ever
get back on track.
Okay.
Bounce back.
It is possible to bounce back and get back on track. Seek help from a professional, whether it's a sex coach or a therapist. I think that's very beneficial. Also, it doesn't even have to be a sex coach or a sex therapist. Sometimes therapy in general is needed, and it's very important because there are some unresolved issues that can help. In terms of, I'm sorry, I'm just trying to replay the question.
Initiating sex.
So she wants to
initiate
do it. Okay,
but
yeah. I actually get that
happen.
a lot.
Yeah.
A lot. I have a client that I started last week who says, I want to have sex with my partner, but I can't initiate it because I'm not comfortable. So some of that comes from the self-exploration that I talked about. It allows you to become comfortable. Another part of that is going to be the communication. And then there are subtle things that you could do, like flirting or touching. And what I mean by touching, don't just go in and grab them if you're not comfortable doing that. But, like, y'all know how when we're cuddling, you scoot your booty over? Like,
a little like, tush.
You're initiating sex when you do that. So things like that are ways that you can initiate it without being so aggressive.
Yeah. That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, I mean, she talking to me, too, because I struggle with initiating. Like, I think about it. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to do it. It just never happens.
And you lay down. It's like, you know what? I think I'm actually going to sleep.
You ain't bothering me, then I ain't bothering you.
Right.
So
I like to dress up. So my favorite way to initiate sex when I'm not being aggressive is I'll go in the bathroom, and he'll think that I'm just going in there to shower or whatever. And I come out, and I'm a whole different person. And what I mean by that is I'll come out, I'll do my makeup, I'll do something to my hair, and I'll have on like some type of lingerie. Lingerie makes me feel really, really sexy. Okay. And so when I do that and I open the door and I like lean up in the door frame, he know it's on and popping. Wow. It's time to get to it.
So to the mamas who not wearing the lingerie.
To the mamas that's not wearing the lingerie.
Who not putting that on.
So actually, what I have found out, y'all, is there is something about the muumuus and the mama
Yes,
robes.
baby, I'm a muumuu mama.
So I put on, it was like a little floral gown shindig with a matching robe, and I went into the closet to get, I think I went to go get some towels or something. Y'all, that man came after me so fast. Like literally came after me, and we got it right there in the closet.
Wow.
And I was like,
They
you
like
didn't do this to me when I
muumuus.
have on lingerie. What is happening? And that actually made me feel sexy.
So don't y'all sleep on the muumuus.
That's how grandmamas got it. That's
Yeah,
a whole.
hey,
That was
They
content.
didn't have no lingerie in the 50s and 40s. Or maybe, I don't know. I didn't know. Never mind. Just,
She's like, never mind.
don't worry about it.
Okay, so actually, like, okay, initiating. Okay, wearing something. What else can they do?
The flirting.
Okay.
If you're away from your partner during the day, you can sext.
Oh,
yeah.
We learned that in the baby group. So one mama, she did nudes at noon. So she would send her
I like
boo
that.
a nude at noon. No matter what she was, she said it was noon. And she had to send it to her husband. They had some code or something. But it worked because I tried that too.
Yeah.
See, Jonathan would hold me. He like, babe, it's 12:01. What's up? I'm working
No,
though.
mine's
Like
sporadic.
I can't.
Mine's is
I don't know.
sporadic.
When
but-
I was in my long distance relationship, I noticed that foreplay through sexting actually it like built up the anticipation. So when we saw, it was on site. So whenever he came into town, my daughter had to be asleep. Like my children had to be asleep.
Yeah.
My son is special needs. So he's. I talk a lot about my daughter being in the way, but so my son is special needs. So he's like usually just in his room to himself. So there's never really a problem with him catching us or anything like that. But yeah, so whenever my boyfriend was coming into town, it's like, okay, what time you gonna be here? You gonna be here at 9? Empress, let's go. Yeah, take a bath, get in the bed, let's do it. And as soon as he walked through the door, we getting it in. And it would be because we would start, if he's coming on Friday, we would start like Monday.
Yeah.
Like, hey, what you doing? I'm thinking about you. I can't wait to see you. Boy, when I see you, I'm gonna put my mouth on you. Or, just, you can also, there are enhancements that can help you kind of calm down.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Have you guys ever had enhancements?
I might need one.
We did
I'm
the.
awkward.
We did
I am
the.
very
yeah,
awkward.
we did
I know,
the
a lot of people whispering.
Shio. The Shio worked.
Yeah.
Shio, have you heard of Shio? That thing worked.
Yeah.
Yes.
So if I want to initiate, I will pop a Shio pill.
And then you become an initiator.
And then I'm initiated. Like 2 hours, drink 2 bottles of water. 2 hours later, you're a whole new person. So yeah.
See, I'm very awkward. Like I am goofy. If I'm sexting, I am cracking
But
up.
that's okay.
Like I am just so.
Who said that sex had to be serious?
But you're right. No, you're right. Because I'm so awkward.
Yeah.
Like, so awkward.
Maybe we stay clowning during sex.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing? Get off of me. Let me get on top. So,
Well, Nikkita, this was great. Like seriously, this was awesome.
Absolutely.
So if people want to know more about you, where can they find you?
you guys can find me on all social media platforms, primarily Instagram, at Nikkita Grady. That's NIKKITAGRADY. You can also find me at NikkitaGrady.com. You can DM me, email me, text me, all the things.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And I want to give one more shout out
Yeah.
before we close. I want to shout out all of our sponsors. So Hammer and Nails, Holistic Divine, our massage person who's here giving all the mamas massages, and the Social Bite for pairing our foods and drinks together. All of these sponsors. Episode literally could not have happened without y'all and our lovely audience.
Yes, and we have a bartender too. It's pronounced Kayla.
Yes.
She's also
It's pronounced
a sponsor.
Kayla.
Yes, she's a great bartender. Check her out for sure. So
Can I give
our
away a
sponsors
secret?
have been great.
Yeah, go ahead.
What'd you say?
What's your
sorry.
secret?
Yeah,
What's the
yeah.
secret?
What's the secret?
So I brought little goodies for our
yeah.
audience, right? Since we're shouting out sponsors, I just wanted to slide this in there because I do social media management for Adam and Eve Atlanta. Do y'all know what Adam and Eve is?
Yeah.
I hear some.
And so typically when I do events, I can get Adam and Eve to also sponsor me in that event. So courtesy of Adam and Eve, you guys can take home 15% off of one item. So go get that lingerie that makes you feel sexy, or that sex toy that's going to make you be like, come on, babe.
She has some other goodies too. I'll let her, we'll talk about that
during the
after.
workshop.
Yeah, I ain't gonna ruin the whole secret. I just wanted to, plug Adam and Eve in there because they did sponsor me for this event.
Awesome. Well, this
awesome.
was great. Our first live show we did.
Yay!
Until next time, mamas.
Bye.